Welcome to the instructional video for this Burstner Viseo i690 Sovereign Edition. So this 2015 model, we're going to give you an instructional video of how to use the vehicle. So we're going to start on the outside first of all. So we have diesel filler cap. Now that's located just behind the driver's passenger door. And don't get that confused with a similar looking, but with a blue sticker, which is for your fresh water. So fresh water further back, diesel further forward. So please don't get them mixed up, guys. That's the first thing. In the locker underneath is where you will find the leisure battery. There are provisions to put another one in at the side of it should you wish to do that, but do make sure that these are the same battery and the condition of the batteries are the same when you are fitting a new one. So further back of that we have your toilet cassette, and that's located here. So lift up the yellow handle, slide it out, unscrew the cap, pop it back in place, and that is your toilet cassette. Back of that we've got the flue. So this is your vent for the Truma system. Be careful, it does get quite warm. Don't use it to hang anything up on, and make sure that there is nothing obstructing the ventilation of that. Behind that then we have a mains plug-in point. So that will take a normal mains cable, and underneath the vehicle here is where we have your wastewater drain. So this is any water that goes down the sinks, through the shower or the kitchen area. That will come into that area, and you simply just turn the little handle at the side and that will empty the water out of your waste tank. Behind that we have a locker door into the garage area, and there's one of these on either side of the vehicle. To the back we have the toolbox. We have your awning pole, as this one comes with an awning when we get on the other side, and we have got some additional rails for tying items down into the back of the vehicle. The vehicle is supplied with an inflation kit, and that's what's in the little boxes there, and it comes with the carpets just there. Your pump is located just in that section there, and in here we have both the frost protection valve, which is this little black box with the little diamond on. As you see it at the moment, with the diamond pointing to the back and that little blue button at the bottom pressed out, that would drain it. So simply twist the bottom at the top, press the button in at the bottom, just there, and that will allow the system to fill up. You'll also need to close that little yellow toggle valve down, and in that position there, it is allowing you to use and fill up the line. Flick it up, and that will allow you to drain the system. Same as if you're wanting to drain the boiler, you would flip that and it automatically flips out that little valve there. So that is your frost protection valve and your water drain valve. Yeah, and you'll see water comes out underneath the vehicle when any of them are draining down. The same way that if I open through the wastewater tank, that will drain any wastewater that is in there already. So that's on that side. We have mountings for a bike rack should you want to add a bike rack to the vehicle, and the reversing camera can be found high up on the top just there. Onto the driver's side, again we've got a hatch, and there's one key to operate all these additional lockers, and you have got a spare one on your fob. So that is where your toolkit is. Again, we've got little pockets, and the little grey pipe is the additional wastewater pipe that can fit onto that outlet that I've just shown you. We have a light, which once you turn the power on will turn on and off just there. We have your gas locker area, so press the buttons in and you will see a 2-bottle gas locker area with a mountable regulator just there. All you'll need is your gas bottles and your filler hose to connect up to the system that is plumbed into the vehicle. Just make sure that you do leave these drop vents free of any obstructions, and it will take anywhere between a 6 kilogram and an 11 kilogram maximum. 2 bottles in there, nice and easily. To lock it, just lock it with the key on the top just up there. In front of that we have the fridge vents, and nice and neatly we have an awning, a thule awning just up there. Now you will find a separate video which we will send to you on the awnings, and that will show you how to operate that. The Habitation door is the premium Hardtail XL door, and it has a step, an entrance step. We also have a bin, a blind, and of course a fly screen fitted on there. To pull the step in and out, you'll just press the button up and the step will depress, press it down, it will come out, and just nice and simple, just like that. So moving inside, you also have an indicator just on here if you do forget the step, so when you turn the ignition on, it will indicate to tell you that you've left the step out. You can lock the door manually and open it, and again open it would then open the door and out of the vehicle. We have some light switches here, but first of all what we must do, guys, is go to your main control panel, located directly above the door. To the right of it is your thermostat for the heating control, and then we have the main control panel here. Very simple to operate. We want to turn the power on, so we press the circle, to turn it off, and then the 12 volt to turn it on. You'll also see as an indicator to telling us that we are plugged into mains, which we are currently in this situation at the moment. If we want to check the vehicle battery level, we press and hold that, and the gauge will move up to give us the correct reading. Same for the Habitation battery. Press the gauge and that will come up. Same on the freshwater, with no water currently in, but that would move up if you had. And the same for the wastewater, that will move up, giving you an indicator on there. You will see on here you'll have tank and then voltage, tank for the water, voltage for the electric. And then you've got finally the pump option. So to turn the pump on, press the button to 1, you'll hear the pump kick in. To turn it off, turn it down to 0. Once you have built up the pressure in the vehicle, you will be able to turn it on to 1. And by means of shutting that frost protection valve and your drain valves, that will build up to pressure, and as soon as it's up to pressure, we'll simply turn off and sit down. So, filling up the fresh water, what we need to do is we need to go under the seat to find the actual drain valve for the fresh water. So I'll show you how to do that. So just for the demonstration purposes, I've removed the table, the 2 cushions. You don't need to do this, but I thought it'd be easier just to show you how to do it. We have a red cap that will give us access into the freshwater tank itself, and we have a wheel. So the wheel is the drain for the fresh water, and if we want to empty the wheel, we would turn that anti-clockwise until it is finger tight. If we want to fill it up, then we'll turn it clockwise until you feel a little bit of force. You don't need to turn it too tightly, and that will allow your fresh water to fill up. So as you're filling it up, you'll be able to look at your control panel by pressing the button to tell you what's going in, and then once it's full, it will just overflow out of the vehicle. So that is your drain valve for your fresh water, which is found under the seat there, which also incorporates your 2 passenger seat belts. So doing the reverse, you will see that our table seats are set up for the travelling people. If you want to slide this unit across, then what you will need to do is just lift it up till you'll see the little red toggle, and then that will enable you to slide the table on and off, or completely remove it from there. What we also have is, by pulling the little lever down, we have an extension piece which then spins just like so, and will extend for anyone that's dining and sitting in the driver's seat in that area. And then you just do the reverse going back, pulling the lever down, spinning it back in place, and then that will lock in the position when you're ready. You'll find that there's a little vent for your heater, or 2 vents down there, and some little drink holders just in there as well. We have your TV bracket that's just fitted here, your main socket, 12 volt socket, and your aerial socket just located just there. Inside here we have a few different options. We have the solar panel regulator that's been fitted for the customer. So these aren't standard, guys. We have your aerial, which is the long pole. Release this little collar here, and then that allows you to move the pole on and off, and there is an on and off switch just where my finger is there, just on the top, to turn on the booster box for your signal. It is also fitted with a Wi-Fi booster, which is that system just there at the back. In front of that we've got storage area, and then we've got little storage pockets here, at the front, along the side here. And cab wise, we are fitted with the Remis cab blinds. So they are just nice and gently together. Same on the other side. So with this being a door, it magnetizes onto the actual frame itself. And the same on the side windows and on your front cab windows. So nice and neat there. For making up the beds, so we'll need to drop the seats forward, and what we do is we've got little turnbuckles on the seats. We'll need to just press and hold them and then press the seats down. So press and hold, and then press and hold, and that will bring it down. Now it doesn't matter if it's forward facing or rear facing like this or forward facing, just to give the bed clearance when it drops down. Next we need to lift the handle towards us and then pull the unit down. It's just a case of getting it going first of all, and then we have our ladders that just hook onto the edge of the frame there to give you the room to get onto the bed. Got light switches there and a little pocket that's just shown there, as well as our own blind and fly screen just there, and opening window by pressing the lever and pulling it down. Yeah, so nice and easy. You do the opposite, putting it back up there. So just get the bed going, and then once it's in, all you're making sure is that you're clipped in at both sides, and just give it a gentle pull down to make sure that that is clipped in properly. So to put the seats back up, you just do the opposite, twist the handles just like so, and then press it to lift it up just like so. The seats do swivel, so to swivel them around you're going to have to utilize the bar underneath to slide the seat backwards and forwards, just to miss the doors and the tables, and they will lock in place forward facing. To release the seat, you'll see underneath here there is a little handle, just lifts up. We've got a bit of light in here, might give us, so you'll just see a little handle there, lift that up, and that releases the swivel to swivel us around nice and easily. So you'll see then, moving into the kitchen, we have an extender bar for the cupboard there, and that simply then just lifts up and pushes down back in place with a couple of light switches which put the varying lights on in the vehicle. Another Hecky roof light in the middle which has a black fly screen and a blind on. We have our 3-burner hob, so we've got our igniter and we've got the 3 varying options of which one you're trying to actually work. And we have our sink here with our tap, which has a little indicator to tell us whether it's hot or cold. So once we've filled up the fresh water, we want to flick the tap through to the hot side, open the tap just like so, and let the water come out with the pump turned on until you get a steady stream. Once you've got a steady stream, you'll know that the boiler is full of water, and then you will be able to actuate your heating and your hot water to heat up the vehicle. If you do just want to use your your heating without your hot water, then you can do so without putting it through, and I'll show you on the control system after how to do that. The blinds and fly screens all work the same, so they are a cassette system which have your fly screens down and your blinds up. Just release it, press the button, and then to open the windows, just move the catches and then gently lift it out and then all the way back in. Exactly the same on all the windows. So that window, and the 2 windows at the back. In the kitchen area, we have a push button which will basically show you where the gas isolation valves are. Now they are in a usable position at the minute, so you should always refer back to this video to make sure that they are set to that position if you have a problem with your gas. Only turn them off if you're being told so by a gas specialist or someone that knows what they are doing. In this cupboard underneath here, we have a sliding option. So I would always travel with it in that, because you've got a little stay to keep it in place on that side, otherwise it will just slide across. But you can have it in any position you want, and then just make sure that they are locked in before you're travelling. the bottom drawer here, we have your grill pan just in there, and some additional supports for the fridge unit. So that can be found just there. We have cupboard spaces above the kitchen, just here, and these have interchangeable plinths and shelves depending on where you want it. And the vehicle also comes with a comprehensive manual handbook consisting of all the operating instructions for the vehicle, for the radio, sat navigation unit, and all the fridge and heating systems. So that's all in that black bag, and that will be given to you on the day of collection. Moving back to the kitchen, we have the oven. That's a bit better now. I've closed that blind. So, pretty self-explanatory in the fact that we have a grill option, which we turn that way. Again, please leave that open when you're grilling it, but it will ignite when your gas is on. Turn it the opposite way, and that will ignite again, and we'll do the oven option, which you change the temperature just by moving the dial around in that direction. So that is your oven and your grill. Below that, we have your fridge, and that is a Dometic fridge. It is a manually selecting fridge, and we do that first of all by turning the fridge on by pressing that button, and then it is selecting gas that it is at the minute. You'll hear it clicking. That's it trying to search for gas. The battery will only work when the engine is running, so please bear that in mind. And this little button here, which is flashing red, is your gas safety button if you need to reset it for a gas lockout. Today we want to set it for electric, which is the little 2 prongs, because we are plugged into electric, and that will then allow the fridge and the freezer to cool down. This button on this side is a temperature setting from the warmest to the coldest. So decide which you want it to do and set it on that. If it's cooling it down too much, things are freezing, turn it down. If it's not doing it enough, turn it up. Freezer compartment at the top, and your fridge at the bottom, with the shelves just on the door there. Just turn it off, press and hold it, and the light goes off and lets you know that you are fully turned off. Behind that, we have the rear bedroom area. Again, a large Hecky roof light which has a fly screen and a blind on it. We have fly screens and blinds on all the windows. Let's do it on this side. And these curtains are simply just pulled up with a little string here. And then all you do is just tie it up in place out of the way, so it hangs up at whatever level, desired height or level you decide to be on. We have again got the fly screens and the blinds just on there, and they're on the same on this side of the vehicle. We have light switches that turn off with the little buttons in the middle of the lights, and then rear locker areas which by just lifting the handles down like so will release and show you where them areas are there. Underneath you have a light switch for the main area, which is just turned on and off there for the ambient lighting. And you have also got a separate infill cushion. Should you want to pop that in place, it just lifts up and goes in there and will allow you to sleep across or give you more space as a big bed together. Equally, you've got your 2 singles either side. The single beds also have lift up options. So the lift up on this side just shows you where you want to put your hanging, if you want to hang anything. And again, you've got access to there from this side. On the opposite side, we've also got an accessible point there, which will give us access to here and a light. And that is where our boiler is located, should you ever want to know that. Also in this area is your main RCD box, which is located just here. And it has a test button on the top, which is just this little button here. So should you want to test that the power is actually getting to the vehicle, you'll hit that test button and them little blue little switches will come down. If you press that button and nothing happens, then you are not getting power to the vehicle. make sure that the site that you're connected to, or the post that you're connected to, is giving you the supply that you need. Now on the Viseos, you also have the recliner option, so you can lift them up and sit up nice and easily in the bed area. Just be gentle with them, and then you can set them at the desired height, whichever you want individually for sitting up and reading. We also have storage underneath this area here, so the top step is a storage area for you to use as well. We have another light which does the light at the back, just located underneath the trimmer setting, and then this is your heating setting. So first of all, always make sure that you turn on your electric and your gas. Now first of all, I'm just going to put it to electric so it doesn't trip out, but then I'm going to run through the options for you. So the options that we have, and we do everything by turning this little button to the left or to the right. The first thing I want to do is turn it to the motorhome. So we'll turn the dial, and then when we select it, it will bring up a temperature. So we want to set the temperature to the desired temperature that we want. So let's say 21. If we had water in our system, we would go to the water temperature gauge, and that would then either give us the option of 40, 60 or a boost option. So 40 degrees being 40 degrees temperature of the water, 60 degrees being 60 degrees, or boost being all the power away from the heating to get the hot water up to temperature as quick as possible. Now in this moment in time, I don't want to do anything with the water because the system is empty. The next option along then is our fuel source, and we have a little indicator here telling us that we have mains power to the vehicle. So we have EL1, so 1 kilowatt electric, EL2, 2 kilowatt, so the more kilowatts the quicker it will get up to temperature. We then also have mix 2, so a mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt, mix 1, which is a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt, and then finally gas only. Choose the appropriate setting. If it starts getting cold like temperatures that we've had, I suggest if you've got the power to do the 2 kilowatt, you go on mix 2, because that will get you up to temperature the quickest. Once you're up at temperature, then you can just select electric if you want to save your gas. So in this setting, we are on 1. So we have gone 21 degrees on the temperature, EL1, 1 kilowatt electric for the heating, no hot water, and finally we have a fan speed, so that is for your blown air heating. And we have eco, which is a slowly up to temperature, and then we have high. What we also have as well is when you run it on the high and the fan starts, after about 5 minutes you can go back into that function and turn it right again, and it will give you the boost function for that particular option. Yeah, and the boost again will only power 1. So if you want to heat both the water and the hot water at the same time and get it up to temperature at the same time, you will need to have that on high and your water temperature on 60 degrees. Yeah, you can't have it on boost and on boost on your heating, otherwise one will take preference over the other. The buttons further down at the bottom here are timer settings, clock settings, because you'll need to set the clock, and then your reset options. If you do select something and you want to reset it, you turn the dial all the way to reset, press reset, preset, and that will allow the system to do like a restart on your mobile phone. The one thing to remember, before you turn off your power source and your gas, turn off this unit by pressing and holding the button, and it actually tells you when you're turned off. If you follow them simple steps on that heating, you'll very rarely have problems unless you run out of gas or your electric goes. So that can be found just at the bottom of the bed, just there. Into the bathroom, we have the Viseo room. So we have your toilet cassette. We have the blue flush button here for flushing it, an indicator to tell you that you are full, light switches for the area there, and then we have your blade valve, which will operate the blade inside the toilet. So it opens and closes it. You must be closed for you to pull your toilet cassette out, so do bear that in mind. We have a storage area just here, and then a storage area underneath. So just make sure that these are all pressed in before you move off. We have toothbrush holder, soap holder, and then your tap. We have a little sliding buckle here, which then slides along and then reveals the shower area for you. Now make sure when you're draining it down that you're also draining down these taps and that you're opening and closing them when you fill up the system. You've then got the curtain that comes around and then stops the door from getting wet. We've got hanging points on the door, and again, like all the Burstners, we have got a fly screen and a blind on that window, which is a full opening window like the rest of the ones on the actual vehicle. To turn the lights off, like I say, they're just at the back, just there. You can turn the lights off individually, or you can turn them off in one motion by turning the power off to the control panel, which would turn all the lights off to the vehicle itself. So with the Habitation side done, let's go round to the cab side. On the driver's seat, you'll notice that there is a little release here, and that releases a swivel, and you have a height adjuster on the driver's seat just there. We have the drinks holders, 6-speed manual gearbox, climate control, traction plus and hill descent, speed limiter and cruise control, the light button, lights on the top here, and your indicators, your windscreen wipers just on there, the leather steering wheel, passenger airbags, and glove box as I mentioned previously. Underneath where my foot just is now is where the actual engine battery is located, and we have a light switch for your courtesy light, which can be found on either side. The door has an electric window, and the little round little lock will lock the door manually in there. To turn on the Zenith unit, you just press and hold it for a few seconds. It does have a CD player option. Then you've got your map options, so you can remove the little SD card where my finger is by pushing that in if you wish to do that. Always takes a few minutes just to load up. If I just turn that down. We then have a home function, which then will give us the option of tuner, Bluetooth, iPod, USB, nav option. Takes a bit to go into, but quite easy to navigate. It is best to look at the instructions and work your way through it, but it is all sort of using the buttons at the side and around. It is also fitted with a little remote control, so if you want to turn up the volume, turn it down as well. The volume button is on here as well as doing it on your controller, but you can use your different source options depending on what you want to do there. Then you'll see into your nav options, you have find my route, find my place, and you can put into the options wherever you want to go on that side of it. So that is the handover for the Viseo i690G. I hope you find it useful, informative. We look forward to your comments, but more importantly, we look forward to you enjoying your new motorhome very soon. Thank you.